This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where we are here to talk about today's sim racing news. And it is Tuesday, June 19th, and not a whole lot of sim racing news, and that's not really a big surprise. Last week we saw E3, and that just sucks up a lot of energy and enthusiasm from the industry in general, the gaming industry, because everybody let so many things out of the bag for E3, which leaves us with the week after. Not a whole lot to talk about, but that's fine. I'm so behind on things. It's always good when I can catch a few minutes to maybe catch up on other things. So what is going on in the world of sim racing today? I mean, there's always something. Blows my mind, but there is always something. Starting off with the guys at Forza Horizon 4. They bounce back and forth whether this page is dedicated to Horizon or Motorsport. But in this case, they have a video out in conjunction with IGN that tells you about making of the McLaren. It's not a video, it's an article, excuse me. But telling you what it took and what they did in order to capture that incredible Senna McLaren in such great detail. And a lot of people have talked about this car because it is such a unique, one-of-a-kind, incredible car. They did have the car on display at E3. It is the cover car, and so here's an entire write-up on that and the game, Forza Horizon 4, which I think it'll be really interesting in the coming months to be able to test Forza Horizon 4 versus, say, the Crew, and so on and so on. Raceroom. They have now added the new AMG Mercedes CLK DTM 2003 to the leaderboard for the 5th round. So the 5th round is going to see this car. So we have a car change for their leaderboard competition. I keep threatening to jump in on that one. I'm just so far behind. I'm still gonna. So if you want to get a jump on things, you might want to start doing that. I think this is a perfect time for me to try to get in if we're going to have a new week, new car. Let's see what we can do. And when I say we, I do mean all of us. I always say you guys are the star of the show, and I really do want to bring you in and make you a big part of this, the star of the show. Very, very, important that we show that we race, that we get out there, we compete, we take our sim racing seriously, and at the same time have a lot of fun with it. So you can go over to Raceroom and check that out. Have that leaderboard to go after. Just going to give a congratulations to Alex Bergeron, who apparently won last night in the World of Late Models Championship. And we haven't covered this a whole lot, the whole dirt side or dirt championships going on in iRacing, with it being fairly new. That and the rally car. I mean, we certainly talk about the Peak Antifreeze Series and the Formula iWorld Drivers World Championship. We'll have to start giving a little more love and attention, but this is at the Twitter feed for iRacing, and they also have a Facebook page for the dirt side of things as well. So you can get a lot of information there, and, that's a good series to actually get in on. That's what Mitchie's going after, the ADAC Sim Racing competition at the Sim Expo, and qualifying for that is going on right now. So, hey, this is a side story. I know Mitchie is streaming this at 10 o'clock, so if you want to see him make a run at the qualifying for the Sim Racing Trophy, Porsche for the ADAC Sim Racing Challenge at the Sim Expo, that is going on. But this is open to everybody, so you can get in on iRacing right now and do it as well. The top 40 times are going to qualify for the live event coming in September. So there you have it. Just 3 days left till the open beta. This is open beta number 2 for the Crew 2. So they made a beta. They had some issues because on day 1 they were already addressing issues, and I'm sure they learned a lot more, and now they're going to put it back to the test again, which I will applaud them. Yes, you're the guinea pig if you go play, especially in the scenarios where you have to buy the game to be part of the beta. That sort of... But anyway, they are using this as an opportunity to make improvements, make changes before the full release. I got to stop saying full release. We need a better word for full release. Final release. Public debut. So apparently Forza 7 is now working with Motion. That is cool. That's a little side news. We'll have to get more on that. GT Planet has a write-up talking about the GT Sport update, the FIA championships that are going on. And, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong here. And, because I don't always have all of the information. But Nissan, is this the one? No, I have a different article on this same topic. Let's come back to the topic. But, in advance of the FIA championships, which are getting underway this week, they are going to have an update to the sim. Hold that thought. Let's come back to that. Alpha? First public version. Oh, you're not talking release title. You're talking about the Forza 7. Jamie, that's pretty funny. Well played. I'm not going to repeat it. You know why, but well played. That reminds me of something. Today's a slow news day, so I never mind taking a little diversion and asking your guys' thoughts and opinions on important things. But I don't know if you've noticed, but if you went back in time 2 weeks ago, the chat was always embedded in the video. It took up the left side of the screen. Took up a lot of real estate from you being able to see the stories. I made a change, and I got rid of the chat because it's semi-redundant with the chat being available on YouTube, and it now remembers that chat when you watch the video later, which was my original issue, but they cured that. So now it's just a real estate issue. But some people, if they're on a single screen, or some people, if they're on a cell phone or something, they're not seeing the chat at all. So I'm sort of back and forth on what I think is the right way to do that. I'd love your guys' thoughts. If you have an opinion on that, I'm always open ears listening to you guys and, building this show in particular around what we want it to be. We're the ones who hang out and watch it each and every day. So therefore we should have it built the way we want it to be. So I will not be doing my my Attack the Track on Wednesday night because I'm going to be doing Hotlap Humpday with guys at Rickmotech. We're back to iRacing this time. We had done an Assetto Corsa diversion, and the pit crew guys will get a chance to jump in there and race with us as well. And then at some point we'll even open it up to the entire public and just give the password out. Really fun challenges. They just randomly on a Wednesday pick a car and track combo. I still don't know, and I won't know until I show up at 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. That's 3 p.m. for me, or West Coast Pacific time. So that we will be doing 4 hours of streaming, running the entire event. I'm not going to run the entire 4 hours, but I will show you what's going on in the action for 4 hours. I believe we'll have Kevin Ford on the mic again, so you get that classic great announcer voice in conjunction with watching the guys at Rickmotech and full motion simulators and some Rickmotech loaded equipment racing, some of their customers online, and then our crew all going at it. Mitchie Hoyer made it last time and really showed everybody up. We did well. We got the guys from Extreme Motorsports show up there as well, sponsored by Rickmotech. Those guys are lightning fast, so we're starting to get a rivalry, the pit crew versus Extreme Motorsports. But that'll be going on tomorrow night. Yes, Paul, that's my final topic of the day. We will bring that up. Don't have a name, but I will show you where we're at. Here's a cool article, and I have a couple articles in a row here, talking about the amount of money that's going into esport, but even on the sim racing side. So here's a whole topic here at firstpost.com, talking about Formula One esports series and their attempts at going at it. Then there's an article here at esportearnings.com that just shows you the amount of tournaments and players and prize money available game by game in alphabetical order. esportearnings.com. And this is a really cool list. If you want to just get an idea, some of them say 0. So End Gods has 0 money, 0 players, 0 tournaments. But on the flip side, looking here at the top, I see Ages of Empire 2, $658,000, 256 players, 74 tournaments. Just to cut to the chase a little bit, give you guys a little idea. This is in Austria. Highest earnings for Austria, it said, and I think this was filtered out of that. But Forza 2, 222,000. Gran Turismo 4, 44,000. Project Cars, 19 players, $36,000 on the line, 8 different tournaments. R Factor 2, the $1 million. I believe that's the Visa Vegas in one shot. 30 players, 1 tournament. I don't know why I have Austria. Let's remove this. I don't think that's accurate. Anyway, really interesting to see the amount of money that is out there. So as we contemplate, can somebody be a professional sim racer? We are getting closer and closer. 1 or 2 people can. Give it another year, it'll be 10 or 20. And give it another year, and it'll be 50. And how are we going to get there? Well, when a game, a sim racing team like Iberica, I don't know how to say that, and I've heard it on the broadcast, but for some reason my brain can't remember it. Racing team, which is one of the biggest, best sim racing teams out there, they are now sponsored by Vodafone. So the money's coming, the ability to make a living and be a professional is coming, and that is great for all of us, even if we're not at that level. But a handful of guys who are part of our group, you know, the Mitchies, the Heikos, you know, you guys know you could do it. You could. This is what I was talking about, going back to Gran Turismo and the FIA certified Gran Turismo manufactured series. So the whole thing is going on and beginning. And granted, big things at stake for the winners of this thing. I mean, the grand prize is going to win a trip to Japan. They'll receive the Nissan team clothing and coaching from a Nissan GT Academy mentor at the World Final. But what I don't know is, you know, Nissan's still involved. Nissan kind of talked about pulling out. And isn't this sort of a downgrade from the old school, just straight up GT Academy? It's kind of a shame that it looks like we're not seeing a full-blown GT Academy. We're seeing this new sort of downsized version. And it's coming at the time when all of the other sims are going the other direction. We're seeing the main sims bringing in big money, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Meanwhile, GT Academy comes in a little bit under of what we've expected and seen in the past, which is too bad. This is just a cool find that was on Pick View of a very elaborate setup, and I'm kind of blown away by this guy's setup. Giant screens, Fanatic rig, don't even know who it is. It was just sent in, and they thought it was cool. You see that giant transducer on the back of the seat. I see an Oculus box in the corner. Obviously, this guy has a good job, and money is not a problem or an issue. Interesting that it's sort of, I like the way he built a real rig into a desk-type situation. I think that's pretty clever. That looks like a modified R-seat N1, perhaps? No, I'm not sure what rig that is. Anyway, very cool. Just thought it would make a good image on a slow day, maybe inspire certain people on how you want your sim racing room set up. Cool article here. And I'm mentioning this because whether you realize it or not, sim racing actually has a really high handicap group. There are a lot of various different handicap people who participate in sim racing. It's a really good environment. Many of them are ex-racers. Many of them are people who always want to race just like I did or you did. And anyway, here's a cool article about Alexander, known as RC Alex 92, and I think I've seen his name around. And talking about him and his whole racing, the modifications. Look at this very elaborate modified Thrustmaster wheel in order for him to race. But I just want to point out that, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. You know, and we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different excuses for why we aren't faster or better. But if you want inspiration, I remember watching, oh my God, come on, where's my brain? Sam, oh, what's his name? He's only an IndyCar team owner. He only won the Indy 500. Sam Schmidt, race with tracking, watching his head, and a blow tube. I mean, where there's a will, there is a way. So my hat's off to RC Alex for being like that in terms of just determined, and really cool to see that. And I've for a long time known about the amount of handicapped people I hear from in emails all the time talking about sim racing and their whole experience. So Yes, I do remember that, Darren. I totally remember that. And also, I was thinking about the new McLaren wheel by Fanatic with the 4 paddles, the bottom 2 being variable. So it's almost like a perfect hands-on only wheel if you wanted, I do believe. So anyway, I thought that was a cool story. Yes, very Alex Zanardi-esque. Where there's a will, there's a way. Some people's determination cannot be stopped. For you Train Sim guys out there, the new box cover art for Train Sim World is out. So for some people, that'll be an exciting moment when now you know what your title's going to look like. Looks like it's going to be $49.99. And the next gen, and that looks pretty badass, actually, I gotta admit. I don't mean to sound surprised. Train sims can be kind of cool, actually. I'm not knocking them at all. What else? Slow day, but if you're interested, so we were talking just a little bit the other day about motorcycle sims and the ones that are out there. I can't remember who it was who was in particular looking for motor, but Gear Nuke has a full article on MotoGP 18, full review on the PS4 version, and I have to admit I have not had a chance to play this game. I'd love to, but if I start playing another game right now, I'm never going to catch up, and I am determined to catch up because it's stressing me out a little bit in the best of ways. I got to tell you, if you're going to have the worst problem on Earth, it's being backed up on things to review and shows you want to do. Never a dull moment around the Simpit, that is for sure. What else? I don't know if any of you guys go in the Triple Threat Project Cars competitions. I always tell you about their community challenges, a little bit different. Their Triple Threat is back, and they're making some changes to it. So with this, there's going to be a format change in the way the racing plays out and goes on. So if you've done this in the past, now you're forewarned. They're going to make some changes to the whole thing. You might want to go. This is actually at projectcarsesports.com. And you can find the full story and find out all the details about, you know, the idiosyncrasies of how the series is going to play out. But they're doing it just in the name of mixing it up and having fun. And this could be another cool competition for anybody. Anybody out there can get out there and get involved in this one. So don't let anything stand in your way, as we were just talking about just a moment ago. What else? Wreckfest, full review on GLG, Gert Lush Gaming, and okay, cool, they did a review. I'm not going to do a review because I play it all the time. I think the amount of attention we give to Wreckfest, it basically should stand on its own. I mean, right there, you have my full opinion on Wreckfest by the fact that I play it twice a week, every week. Excuse me, a little bug in my throat. But the important thing is, here's an article. And so I want to go down here. They have their cons. They have a long pro list. Let's look at their cons. Sometimes if you want to know or read between the lines on a review by me, you got to like look at my cons list and see if I had to struggle to find things. Like, was I inventing things just to have a cons list? Or did I have legitimate gripes for the product? So when I look at this review, long frequent loading times. I didn't think they were terribly long or that bad, but okay, cool, but is that huge? Music is not for everyone. Well, I turned mine off anyway, so who cares? No mini-map in-game. Well, I agree and I disagree. It'd be very helpful, but it would make it feel like less of a sim, and one of the things that makes Wreckfest so awesome is that it feels like a sim. Small text in places. And I'm sorry to bore you guys if you don't like Wreckfest, but I gotta tell you, Wreckfest is absolutely one of my favorite games. Absolutely one of my favorite games ever. Forget driving, forget anything. This game is fun. Playing it in a group is awesome. Small text in places, I do agree with that, but again, how much are we fighting to find things to fault it for? Dodgy AI at times. I do agree with that. Sorry, excuse me. The AI is a little iffy, but I mean, AI is very tough. It's hard to find a great AI sim, to be honest with you. Controls always default to keyboard, even when using the pad. You know, I've heard a million different problems with the controls. So this right here is a legit con, and that's one that I would fault the game for in a big, big way. And it's a pain in the ass. It causes headaches for a lot of different people. Lackluster end-of-race screens. Yeah, I mean, if you want to compare it to, like, you know, Gran Turismo with, like, a car rolling out and uncovering, sure. But again, reaching. No commentary or shout-outs. Lacks trading cards. Waiter! Sorry, inside joke with myself there. Paint job standard is very basic, I agree. You need to click every item in menus as hovering over them does nothing. Okay. They give it a score of 9 out of 10. Graphics, sound, 7 out of 10. Accessibility, 9 out of 10. Length, 8 out of 10. Fun factor, 9 out of 10. I don't agree with those scores much. I agree with the graphics. Sounds, I'd give them maybe an 8 out of 10. I'm not sure what accessibility means. Length, I think the game has a lot of gameplay, especially if you get into the career mode plus multiplayer. Yeah, dodgy AI is normal. For SimX, use and give to Sean. Not sure what you mean there. But anyway, the other con, and the real con that I have on this one with how magnificent the game is, I would really, really like to see the ability to save my replays. But yeah, anyway, that was my point. I love Wreckfest. That's my review of Wreckfest right here on the show today. And, you know, I don't have any cons other than, you know, I agree with, I don't disagree with any of them. You're really, really reaching. I mean, and then look at the pros list, by the way. Boom, 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 boom. And my pros list would be just as long. You don't know? Go get it. I swear if you buy the game, you won't be disappointed. They don't pay me to say that. They don't even respond to my emails, to be honest with you. But I'm going to be playing it Saturday morning at 10 a.m. I'm going to be playing it Monday at 6. Eventually, I'm going to have to stop doing that. But I'm almost thinking the other way. I want to start a Wreckfest league. So anyway, moving right along, and then we're going to bring the show to a close because, again, not a whole lot. I'm going to blow this name. Akamai and Telstra Broadcast Services joined in supporting the 2018 Women in Games Awards. So this is something we talked about recently. We talked about like the top 5 women in gaming, and they meant on in that article they were talking about the development production side of things. This could go well beyond that, but you know, and boys, don't be offended that the women get a gaming awards, because basically every award show has always been male-centric, and if a woman got in, you know, or broke through the ceiling, they're getting there. So it's no harm, no foul that they get their own game show. That's a great thing, and it's great to see them getting more and more support for that as well. So congratulations, women of gaming. What else? All right. So I teased you guys. You know, if you're here live watching, I'm going to let you vote as well. So the Simpit Pit Crew channel needs a channel change, name change. So here's a straw poll. And I asked you guys, and I did close the submission per point, and prizes available to those who pick the winning name. But I trust you guys. I trust you guys immensely. You are the star of the show. You are the Pit Crew. The Simpit Pit Crew, the alternate channel, needs a new name. And these are the options. You have about 19, 20 choices there. And as soon as we get some good voting in, I will let the winner be declared. Thank you, Dave Blair, for really kicking off and making that channel happen. And I'm talking to a few people. It keeps happening. You know, it's just hard to get people to go from, yeah, I have a webcam, yeah, I want to do it, to actually doing it. Just like it was hard for me to get this list together and ready to go. So that is it. Please get out there and vote. You have the link there. And I am taking this very seriously. I really do want to give you guys a place to shine. I want to give you guys a place to be able to post your content. And it's a little secret. It's kind of a recruiting ground. If you want to become a part of the Simpit, it's going to come through that channel. So it could be your online resume to be a streamer on your own. It could be your online resume to join the crew. So I'm all over the place. I didn't have a whole lot of news today, so I kind of was just doing a little bit of filibustering. Sim Racing 604 does some cool Project Cars 2 challenges, and his latest one is the Janetta G5 at Long Beach Project Cars 2. And you guys can check out Sim Racing 604 on YouTube to find out what the challenge is. And the reason I'm bringing this one up in particular is because Logically Gaming, actually sent me in, I'm going to leave that video playing, sent me in week 1 leaderboard. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I saw, hey, look at that. 5th place, George Weissman. George, you here? You were here earlier. There he is on the board. 7th place, Mitchie Hoyer. Jamie 303. Is that our Jamie or a different Jamie? I see, let's see, Devin Booth 16th. Sorry to blow your cover there, Devin. But you're the one who sent it to me. But there you are in 16th and BRVT 1000. Brendan, is that you? And that is sitting in 17th place. Sim Racer Unknown in 19th place. So look at this. Sim Racing 604, his leaderboard challenge, and the top 20 is filled up with you guys. Congratulations, you guys. Why haven't you been sending me screenshots? I want to talk about it. I want to show you guys. I want to show all of you guys kicking ass, taking names in the world of sim racing. That's what it's all about. And I don't care where you are on the board. I just want to see that you're out there doing it and having a good time. And speaking of that, just yesterday I mentioned Christian Clark on Project Cars 2, the community challenge, the Le Mans challenge with his 301.239. He sent me an email. He's very grateful that I had showed it. 14th place. Well, John Cheel, you here? Because John Cheel, he actually went after it. And he posted a fantastic lap time, a 2:58.162. Good enough for 4th place on the leaderboard. So John, kicking ass, taking names, making a name for himself. And I appreciate you sending that in. Anytime you guys send me stuff like that, I'm just thrilled. Because, you know, we have a news show, but at the same time, we're a community. We're trying to inspire and motivate each other. And this is how you do exactly that. And we all need to do more of that, myself included. Brandon did that with a gamepad in the hotel room because he's on working, I was going to say working on vacation. He's working on location without his sim gear, unfortunately. We miss Brandon. And then yesterday I did show the map, and we already have 2 new additions. So we have Saskatchewan, Canada, and Nova Scotia added to the map. And if you want to be part of the Simpit pit crew, make sure you let me know where you're coming from. You can always email me with anything. I'm slow about email, but I do eventually try to answer every email. And if I don't, man, if you haven't heard from me in a while, just send me another one, because my intention is to reply to every single email. But Sean, SHAUN at thesimpit.com. And always want to see your leaderboard work, always want to see your rigs, always want to see where you're from and hear your stories, and that's what it's all about. So that is going to do it today. Look at that. I'm long-winded enough, almost made it to 30 minutes, even with like a no-news day, but that is going to do it. Get out there, vote, so we can change the name at the end of the week. Get out there, race, and maybe you'll join us tomorrow night for that hot lap challenge with the Rickmo Tech and Extreme Motorsport guys and the pit crew. That should be a lot of fun. And, of course, we'll be back in the morning with another edition of the Pit Stop. For me, it's back to work. I got so much to do. I got to do some editing. I got to do some filming. I got to do some emails, some phone calls, the works. It's a busy, busy week coming off of E3. And hopefully we'll get some new content out even today. I still have some stuff from E3 to show you guys. So, sorry about being so behind and late, but that is the way it is when we're as busy as we are in the world of sim racing. So that's going to do it. Thank you very much for being here. Have a great week. Get out there, do some racing. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.